Welcome to Tech Turks. Today I have Modupe of Smart Farms. Smart Farms is about crowd investment and using technology to enhance farm production. Modupe, thank you. Welcome to Tech Turks. Thanks for coming. So, why did you go into agriculture? What were you doing before then, and what opportunity did you see?
I wanted to have an alternative source of income, and I thought, okay, agriculture is the in thing. And then, so I invested my money, I invested in the farm, and then I lost everything. You know, it was my farm, I got some people to do it for me. And I felt, wow. So that made me left my job. I said, what exactly is the problem with this thing? Why didn't it work? And I've learned something in software development that if you're going to provide a solution, you have to understand the problem. So the idea was that I want to understand the layers of complexities in agriculture so that I can come up with technological solutions. So that was the idea. And then I saw the opportunity in agriculture. You know, we still import a lot of food right now into Nigeria. And that's why our focus right now is that how can we stop this importation? Even if we're not, for now, even if we're not exporting, if that money alone is able to circulate in our economy, I mean, that's something. So we are focused more on crops that are being imported. And then after a while, we can now work on exports. So really, it's about identifying technology to improve farm productivity, to increase production, to make farmers credible and say, okay, I borrow you money and you're sure that you're going to do the production, you get it right, and then you'll be able to pay back.
A very interesting story, and I can actually see the logic and the tie-in. I'm not an expert, but I know there are a lot of different initiatives going on in the agricultural space. There's Farm Crowdy, there's Babangana, and there's smart farms, and maybe many more. So what is your own specific value proposition, and how are you different from the others out there?
Okay, so for us, it's not just about giving funds to farmers. For us, it's about helping farmers to increase their productivity, but not just farmers alone. We are solving problem for the off-taker also. So the off-taker says, in fact, most of our things we do, we work with off-takers first. We'd like to know what is their demand, what is the quality they want, and then we ensure that they're able to get that quality at the required time, at the required volume that they want. So we now bring in all the farmers that will be able to meet that demand. So it's like attaching farmers, organizing farmers for a company to meet their demand. So that's how we are really different. So we are also making it possible for the farmers to be able to produce in such a way that they can get funds from anywhere, not just crowdfunding. So they can get funds from the bank, they can get from even the off-taker. So we want to make them credit-worthy.
So you're making them credit-worthy by ensuring that their operations are more efficient,
more efficient,
and it's also structured to their
structured.
Business. Because yes, I know, because you make it sound very easy now. I know that the off-takers are very structured and have a business. The finances people are, but the farmers, I'm sure, when you started, it was not as smooth sailing as you're making this out to be. What were the challenges in getting a group of farmers who are farming for their own self, subsistence farming, and saying, okay, as a collective, I believe I can provide a better way. So what was the story to them?
Okay, so before the platform, I became a farmer myself. I started with 2 acres, and now my farm is 700 acres.
700 acres?
Yeah, my personal farm. When I'm talking to farmers, I'm talking to them as a farmer. Because so they won't be telling me, oh, this is how we do it. I tell them, in fact, this year we did a program with Bayer. Okay. We brought the farmers to my farm. So my farm is more like a model.
Showroom.
Yes. So they come in, I tell them, this is what we are doing. And then they come in and they say, wow. Because it's difficult for them to have the kind of yield I'm having. So by the time I'm telling them, this is what you can do, it's easy for them to now adopt. So by the time we bring technology to them and say, okay, we're going to be using drone and everything, you're going to pay just a little extra for this. They'll say, okay, are we going to get what you got? Yes, you get it.
So what's the drone for? Security?
To monitor the farm, to make sure that, yes, to monitor the crop health. Because from my technology background, you know, when you're programming, you have to get your data, you do your process, and then that will give you your output. Yeah. So I realized that in farming, you don't really have data to work with. So if a farmer wants to plant, he's not sure. Is it going to rain tomorrow? What's the weather going to be like? And all those things. The soil is going to plant in. He's not sure of the nutrient requirements. So when he wants to apply fertilizer, he applies fertilizer to the whole farm. Yeah. He sprays anyhow. But by using all this technology, we're able to know, okay, this area needs more nutrients than this area. And then, okay, there's a forecast that there's going to be a pest outbreak. So we're able to help the farmer to get ready in time for that, so that you'll be able to do a preventive measure, because prevention is better than cure. So it's better to prevent than to now do an attack later when they are around. So things like that. So that are the things we use technology for, but not just drones, we use sensors also.
What's your staff strength? How many customers do you have?
For now, our staff strength is 15.
Okay.
But we have workers that also come in. So I would say that we have like over 50 workers who are working with us right now. And then we are not growing so, because like I said, we want them to get it right. For example, yield of maize in Nigeria was 2 tons and all. We are training our farmers to now they're getting 5 tons, 7 tons, which is very important. The idea is to perfect it and then replicate it. So we are not so big on number of farmers right now. But once we are sure...
Efficiency.
We want to get that efficiency very well. Once we get the efficiency, it will be easy to replicate. So for now, we are still in Oyo State alone. We have 1,000 farmers that we are working with. So that next year now, a company is saying, we like the quality. Can you be the sole provider for all the maize we need? And for that, we are going to need like 10,000 farmers. That's just one company. Do you understand? Yeah. So the idea is to grow one company at a time like that, get enough farmers to produce and meet their specific need, and take it from there. So
how are you creating awareness? How are you also, of course, funding your business to expand as well?
It's more of word of mouth.
Okay.
Like 5% of our investors reinvest. Okay. So somebody invests 1 million now and said the next one is 5 million, and that's why we've not been doing much of publicity, because even those who are on ground and then the friends they are referring, so we've not done much of publicity. By next year, because we are targeting 10,000 acres, so we're going to be doing a lot of publicity by next year.
Agriculture is a lucrative business. Anyway, it has always been a lucrative business. But now I think it's just deploying and leveraging on technology to enhance productivity. But in doing that, aren't we going to find a time where you're going to be using less people to actually run farms than before?
Yes. I mean, that's our target.
That's your target. So what it means is that for farmers, they have to start upscaling and upscaling.
Upscaling.
Yes.
So we want our farmers to say, okay, last year you were doing 1 hectare, because smallholder farming cannot feed us in Nigeria. It cannot. So we need our farmers to upscale. So one of the problems we had was mechanization. We wanted farmers to adopt mechanization. So one of the things we also do is that we now identify machineries that farmers, even if you are doing 1 hectare, you can get machinery that's going to plant for you, that's going to apply your fertilizer, that's going to spray for you, even as a smallholder farmer. So the idea is that you're doing 1 hectare now. So in the next few years, we want you to be doing 10 hectares to grow, and then you use more machinery. So we have a little small, like on my farm now, instead of using the big planter, because if you want to bring a company to come and do your planting for you with a planter, you should be doing like 100 hectares. How many farmers do we have doing that? So we had to look for, handheld planters that's going to plant and harvest and apply fertilizer at the same time for them, because those are the little things that actually enhance productivity when we are planting. So yes, farmers, but we are creating job at the same time.
Of course.
Because we are also going to be having more farmers. Like we have youths now that are coming to my farm and say, oh, we want to come for internship. And then they come in.
Yeah, and that's actually quite interesting that you say that, because before, when I was having an argument with someone before, and they said that the youth are not actually interested in agriculture. But I think we're beginning to see renaissance where, like your typical example, you're using technology to drive efficiency and making farming look sexy and cool. Sexy and cool now. It's been great talking to you. Like you're talking like someone who has been in farming all their life. One would think that it's only a couple of years ago that you dive in.
Yeah.
So, that's with the passion. So great talking to you. We'll continue the conversation offline, and thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.